Welcome to the Helio-X universe. The materials that built a civilization, discovered on a dead planet, destined to open the stars.
Good morning. Find your seats. Today, we're not talking about history. We're talking about the ground beneath your feet, or rather, the ground beneath a planet most of your grandparents never set foot on. Mars gave humanity 10 materials that changed everything. By the end of this lesson, you'll understand not just what they are, but what they made possible. 10 materials, all of them found on Mars, in volcanic plains, deep caverns, ancient rock formations that had been waiting billions of years to be discovered. Some found during the war, some found long after, by science teams who finally had the freedom to look properly. Each one unlocked something humanity couldn't do before. Together they opened the galaxy. Let's take them one at a time. We start with the one that started everything. Before Helio-X humanity was running out of road, fossil fuels declining, renewables hitting their ceiling, fusion always 20 years away. Elon Musk had private evidence it existed, a small sample from an unknown source that his scientists couldn't fully explain. He needed confirmation. He needed scale. So he funded Dr. Zane Hawking, one of the few scientists willing to go to Mars and look properly. Everyone else had dismissed the energy readings as instrument error. Hawking didn't.
Helio-X, known informally as Martian coal, discovered by Dr. Zane Hawking in 2023, funded by Elon Musk. Formed from ancient Martian plant life compressed over billions of years. The same geological process that created coal and oil on Earth, but on a different planet, over a far longer timescale, under conditions unique to Mars, intense radiation and repeated volcanic activity transforming organic matter into something coal never could be. The ultimate irony of the Helio-X age. Humanity spent 2 centuries trying to escape fossil fuels. The answer was a fossil fuel, just not Earth's. In Ascendancy, Helio-X powers the wormhole drive itself, the engine that takes humanity to the stars. Without it, nothing else works. Every ship, every weapon, every gate in the galaxy runs on Martian coal.
If Helio-X is the engine, Osmium is the armor. The MLC built the walls of New Olympus from it. ECF artillery couldn't scratch it. Combat engineers had to find another way in. Osmium is the fossilized shells of the Ossids, compressed over billions of years into something harder than anything humanity had ever produced. When we finally learned to cut it, using Martian diamonds focused through Helio-X, everything changed.
Osmium. Fossilized Ossid shells compressed over billions of years of volcanic activity. Harder than any material produced by human engineering. Indestructible by conventional means. Only Martian diamonds focused through Helio-X can cut it. In Ascendancy, Osmium becomes the hull plating for Earth's warships. Light hull plating unlocks first, then heavy plating, then the Osmium warship class itself, the most heavily armored vessels in the galaxy. Alien races with centuries of space warfare experience have never encountered anything they can't eventually destroy. Osmium warships make them reconsider.
Jebediah Kessler and Dax Morrell were independent belters working Mars in 2023. They had found traces of something extraordinary but needed help locating more. They went to Dr. Vincent Arev, a geologist with the best scanner technology available. Arev agreed to help, ran the surveys, and identified multiple deposit locations across the Martian volcanic formations. His payment was a share of whatever they found. When they found the diamonds, Kessler and Morrell sold their shares to Pratt for enough to retire. Arev looked at his share and made a different choice. He kept them. He spent years in his laboratory before he understood what he had. The focusing lens. The key that unlocks everything else.
Martian diamonds. Exotic carbon crystalline formations found deep in Martian volcanic rock. They are the only material harder than osmium, capable of grinding it to a powder, or when combined with Helio-X, focusing a precision cutter that can slice through osmium like it was ordinary stone. That combination Diamond grinding, Helio-X focusing is what finally made osmium workable as a construction material. Without Martian diamonds, osmium remains indestructible and useless. With them, it becomes the most powerful building material in the galaxy. They also focus Helio-X energy into a precise directed beam with zero energy loss. In Ascendancy, Martian diamonds unlock the entire energy weapons tree. From basic directed energy to heavy beam weapons to the wormhole activation lens itself. 3 materials combine to open the stars. Martian diamonds are the one that makes the other 2 work together.
Now we leave the war era behind. These next materials weren't found on Mars during the conflict. They came later in the age of exploration when science teams finally had the freedom to look properly. Neuralis was the first truly alien discovery. Not alien in the sense of extraterrestrial. It came from Mars like the others. Alien in the sense that nothing like it exists in human science. Fossilized neural tissue. The compressed memory of creatures that died 2 billion years ago. And it still works.
Neuralis, fossilized neural composite from ancient ossid organisms that developed primitive neural networks. When fossilized under Martian conditions, this biological tissue became a material that conducts energy with near-zero resistance and retains complex energy patterns. Biological memory storage still readable after 2 billion years. In Ascendancy, Neuralis unlocks the advanced computing tree. Neuralis processors are 10,000 times more powerful than silicon. More critically, they allow decoding of alien technology, Ethon research logs, Kreth battle systems, or in communication arrays. Without Neuralis, humanity cannot understand what the other races built. With it, the galaxy opens up.
Ferrithine was one of the later Martian discoveries, found by science teams doing deep geological surveys in the volcanic regions after the war. They kept finding this strange metal biological composite in the rock formations that their drilling equipment couldn't damage properly. It bent instead of breaking. It sealed itself after being cut. They thought their equipment was malfunctioning. It wasn't. They'd found ferrithine, and it changed ship construction forever.
Ferrithine, known informally as Martian liquid metal. Iron biological composite formed when ancient Martian organisms living near volcanic iron vents absorbed and incorporated iron into their biological structure. Over billions of years of fossilization, this created a material lighter than steel, stronger than titanium, and capable of self-repair at the molecular level. Microfractures seal themselves. Impact energy is absorbed and redistributed rather than transferred to the hull. The liquid metal nickname comes from the way it behaves under stress, flowing to fill gaps and seal damage rather than fracturing like conventional metals. In Ascendancy, ferrithine unlocks the self-repair systems tree. From basic hull repair to combat repair to the ferrithine warship class. Combined with cryonite shields, a fully equipped ferrithine warship can take damage that would destroy any alien vessel and keep fighting.
Vexite was found deep underground in the vast cavern systems of Mars's southern hemisphere. When the science teams first ascended into those caverns, they weren't prepared for what they found. Enormous chambers, completely dark, filled with crystal formations growing from the walls, the floors, the ceilings. Billions of years of mineral drippings forming structures of extraordinary size and beauty. Then someone turned on their scanner and realized these weren't ordinary crystals. They could see through them, perfectly, across every wavelength. The caves that had been dark for 2 billion years had been growing the universe's most perfect optical material the entire time.
Vexite, known informally as Martian crystal, found in the deep cavern systems of Mars's southern hemisphere, enormous underground chambers where mineral-rich water dripped and crystallized over billions of years into formations of extraordinary size and perfection. No flaws, no inclusions. Perfect optical clarity across every wavelength, including those invisible to human perception. When combined with Martian diamonds and Helio-X, Vexite creates sensor arrays capable of detecting rare subsurface deposits, alien energy signatures, and artifacts buried deep in rock. It was Vexite arrays that revealed what else was hiding beneath the Martian surface. In Ascendancy, Vexite unlocks the sensor tree, from short-range detection to long-range scanning to alien artifact detection across the galaxy. The most perfect eye in the known universe, grown in the dark for 2 billion years.
Lumicite was another deep Mars discovery, found in the darkest regions of the southern cavern systems, not far from the Vexite formations. The science teams noticed it immediately because it glowed, faintly but unmistakably. In caves that had been completely dark for 2 billion years, something was producing light. Ancient Osid colonies in the deepest parts of the Martian Ocean had evolved bioluminescence to survive the darkness. When those organisms fossilized, that light-producing biological structure didn't disappear. It became permanent, stored, waiting.
Lumicite, known informally as the natural laser, found in the deep cavern systems of Mars's southern hemisphere alongside Vexite formations. Ancient Osid bioluminescent structures fossilized over billions of years into a mineral that stores energy and releases it as a focused, coherent beam. No artificial pumping required. No external power source needed beyond initial activation. Energy density far exceeds any conventional laser material humanity had previously developed. When focused through Martian diamonds and powered by Helio-X, it produces directed energy beams of extraordinary power. In Ascendancy, Lumicite unlocks the weapons tree, from basic laser weapons to heavy beam weapons to planetary bombardment capability. The same light the Osids used to see in the darkness of the dead ocean now illuminates the battlefield across the galaxy.
Cryonite is perhaps the most unusual of the Martian materials, and the most counterintuitive. Mars is not a cold planet in the way most people imagine. Volcanic activity, Helio-X radiation, geological pressure, the deep subsurface of Mars runs hot. But in certain isolated pockets of the southern hemisphere, sealed chambers completely cut off from any heat source for billions of years. Temperatures dropped to near absolute zero. Something lived there. We still don't fully understand how, but it did. And when it fossilized, it left behind something extraordinary, a material that absolutely refuses to let energy pass through it.
Cryonite, found in sealed subterranean chambers deep in the Martian southern hemisphere, isolated pockets where temperatures drop to near absolute zero over billions of years. Ancient organisms that evolved to survive those conditions left behind a fossilized material of extraordinary insulating properties. Nothing gets through it. No heat, no radiation, no energy transfer of any kind. When energized rather than passively insulating, cryonite generates a deflector field that absorbs and disperses incoming energy before it reaches the hull. In Ascendancy, cryonite unlocks the shields tree, from basic shields to heavy shields to capital ship shield arrays. Combined with Ferrithine's self-repairing hull, a ship equipped with both is almost impossible to destroy. The shields absorb the hit. The hull repairs whatever gets through. Together, they make Earth's warships the most survivable vessels in the galaxy.
Everything we've discussed so far came from Mars, dug out of volcanic rock, pulled from deep caverns, extracted from ancient formations that had been waiting billions of years to be found. Wormhole substrate is different. It didn't form on Mars. It didn't form in our solar system. It was brought here. The Ethon came to study Helio-X 2.3 billion years ago. They were making progress, combining our materials with their own technology in ways we are only beginning to understand. Then the Kreth found them and shot them down. Their ship crashed into a deep canyon on a Belt 4 asteroid. And there it stayed, until Doogie Howell's mining drone picked up an anomalous reading.
Wormhole substrate, unknown alien material of non-biological origin predating the formation of our solar system. found at the heart of the Ethon mothership, crashed in a deep canyon on a Belt 4 asteroid, shot down by the Kreth 2.3 billion years ago. It resists all conventional analysis. Its composition remains unknown. It responds only to Helio-X energy at specific frequencies, focused through Martian diamonds at precise angles. When active, it folds space-time. The Ethon didn't just come here to study Helio-X. They were building something, a device that combined their substrate with our materials, Helio-X, Martian diamonds, into a wormhole activation system. They left their research behind deliberately, encoded to survive billions of years, waiting for whoever came next. In Ascendancy, wormhole substrate unlocks the gate construction tree. From initial gate building to full wormhole network to rapid deployment across the galaxy, it is the backbone of interstellar travel. Humanity didn't invent it. They inherited it.
And finally, Zenite. I'll be honest with you. We don't fully understand it. Nobody does. It was found near the wormhole gate structures in small quantities, possibly fuel residue from the last time the gates were used, 2 billion years ago. What we do know is that exposure to it does something to living organisms. Pattern recognition improves dramatically. Dreams become vivid and structured. Some researchers report what can only be described as precognition. We don't know what that means yet. What we do know is that it interacts with Neuralis-based computing in ways that current science cannot predict or explain. It may be the most important material we have ever found, or it may be the most dangerous, possibly both.
Zenite, found in trace quantities near wormhole gate structures, believed to be residual fuel from the last activation of the gates 2.3 billion years ago, highly unstable under normal conditions. In controlled quantities releases energy comparable to Helio-X. Exposure causes measurable neurological effects in living organisms, enhanced pattern recognition, structured dreaming, episodes that can only be described as precognitive. When combined with Neuralis-based computing, the effects become extraordinary and not yet fully understood. In Ascendancy, Zenite is the endgame material. Its full capabilities are the final mystery of the franchise. What it truly does, and what it means for humanity's place in the galaxy, is the question Ascendancy answers in its final act. Every other material in this lesson was a tool. Zenite may be something else entirely.
10 materials. 8 from the volcanic rock and frozen caverns of a planet humanity almost destroyed itself fighting over. 2 left behind by beings who crossed the galaxy 2 billion years ago and never made it home. Each one unlocked something we couldn't do before. Together, they gave us ships that can't be destroyed, weapons that level continents, sensors that see across the solar system, and gates that fold space-time itself. Your grandparents fought over Helio-X on Mars. Your parents explored the caverns and found what was hiding in the dark. You grew up on a space station in the asteroid belt, knowing the wormhole is open and something is on the other side. I've taught this class for 20 years. Every year, the students get closer to the answer. This year, it might be you. Class dismissed.